the future. As a leader in cloud adoption in Africa, Absa has been on a drive to ensure that our staff are familiar with cloud computing and that they have the necessary skills to use cloud technology, which will ultimately result in better and faster solutions for our customers. Recently, our IT teams celebrated the success of our Cloud Incubator program for staff, which ran in collaboration with Amazon Web Services. Through this initiative, more than 1,500 employees across Absa's Africa operations from South Africa to Ghana learned more about cloud computing. A total of 1,496 participants successfully completed the training by the end of October this year, and a further 280 are expected to complete the program by the end of this month. Today, we are joined by Ibrahim Samodine, our Chief Information Officer of Group Services for Absa. He will be telling us more about our Cloud Incubator initiative and why exactly cloud computing is so important. Joining him is Yolandi van der Hoek, our Talent Acquisition Lead for the Information and Technology Office at Absa. And of course, our other three panel members are our very own Cloud Incubator participants that took a part in this initiative. They are Wiseman Radebe, David Cogren, and Pumlani Mbabele. Thank you to each of you for joining us on our panel. Thank you so much for giving of your time and for sharing your experience around the Cloud Incubator initiative with us. Now, I invite all of you joining in online to share your comments and interact with us as we discuss the importance of upskilling and reskilling, and of course, equipping employees for their individual advancement, but ultimately for the betterment of banking and, of course, Africa at large. Welcome to every one of you online. Thank you to our panel members. Ibrahim, I'm going to kick off the conversation with you, if that's perfect. What is Absa's Cloud Incubator all about?
Hi, Joe. Hi to everyone watching. Great to be with you on the live stream today. Before I answer that question, Joe, I want to take 2 steps back. Let's talk about why cloud and why is it important to Absa. So what we don't realize is that cloud is now part of our lives, right? Whether it's in our personal life, we use it on our phone, we use it when we're answering our email, when we're doing our banking, we're using it in our professional lives, whether we're collaborating through things like Zoom or Microsoft Teams. So it's here and it's here to stay. It's for this reason that at Absa, we've decided that cloud is going to be a strategic enabler for our business and how we provide services to our customers and how we provide them a better experience. It's for this reason that a few years ago, we took a decision to embark on our cloud journey and to invest in not only cloud technology, but into skills and building internal capability within the organization. What we realized after a few years, though, is that we were not gaining the scale and the progress that we needed, and we had to do something very differently. It's at this point that we collaborated with Amazon Web Services, and in this joint partnership, in March last year, we kicked off a Cloud Skills Guild, and that's what we call today Absa's Cloud Incubator. So I'm very excited to say that as part of the incubator, we launched a significant amount of initiatives in last year aimed at upskilling our staff, driving cloud fluency, driving awareness across our organization on what we're trying to achieve from a cloud perspective. We did that, and we didn't only do it, we made it fun. So we had things like brown bag sessions, we had workshops, we had initiatives to share learnings, and we encouraged collaboration across the organization. And in doing so, we created loads of excitement. And that's what the Cloud Incubator is all about, Joe.
Sounds absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Ibrahim. I mean, I want to participate just hearing you talk so passionately about it. Now, you mentioned cloud fluency. I want to understand, and for those of us who've joined online, why is it important for Absa to build cloud fluency for employees?
So having cloud fluency, Joe, across the organization is important because we're not doing cloud for the sake of doing cloud. We're not doing cloud because we think it's cool, because it's a buzzword. We're doing it because we believe it's actually going to add value to our business. And in order for us to do that, we believe that us as colleagues and as the organization, we need to understand what value it can bring. We also need to be able to bring our business along on that journey, because cloud is not a tech thing, right? Cloud is what will take our organization forward in driving greater efficiencies, in looking at opportunities where we can reduce our physical footprint in our data centers, that we have all this physical infrastructure today. It will look at opportunities of using the products and the services and the tools available in cloud to drive better services and experience for our customers. We believe we can't do that if we don't fully understand and wrap our heads around it. So we need to bring our business along on that journey with us. We also want to seek opportunities to improve our business and find better ways of running our business. And to do that, we believe we need to experiment and use cloud to drive innovation, not only in our customer experience, but also in how we run our business internally and in terms of our colleague experience.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ibrahim, for that. Yolandi, over to you. Obviously, understandably, you operate in the talent acquisition sort of world of work. And I really want to understand from you, how does enhancing the skills of the employees contribute to the future of work?
Great question. And yeah, good afternoon, Joe, and lovely to be able to spend the next hour with our viewers. So as most of us are very, very aware, we are shifting our focus across the globe from the fourth industrial revolution to the fifth industrial revolution. The conversations that are taking place are moving from only technology, which we've seen mainly in the fourth industrial revolution, to the human interaction with technology. And we therefore really, really need to be considerate in continuing to engage the human brain to connect with these machines that a lot of people thinking are taking over our lives. So our responsibilities, and that is technology leaders, people supporting our technology colleagues, is not only to provide the opportunities for training and upskilling, but it's as critical and maybe even more important to encourage and expect people to be curious to learn. So my short answer to your question, Joe, is that if you do not remain relevant, if you do not continue to learn, unlearn, relearn, you will not have the tools needed for success for today as well as for the future.
That's so pertinent. I think you make such an important point. And if I go back to and just reflect on sort of our absolute learning weeks that we have, I mean, that's the essence that we talk to. We talk about relearning, unlearning, and I think the concept of constantly being a learner and a lifelong learner is a necessity to continue, especially within the technology space, and to keep abreast of what's happening in that world. Perfect. Thank you so much, Yolandi. Now, from an Absa context, obviously a lot of people are joining in online. What other skills, does Absa look for from a technology perspective? I mean, I wouldn't necessarily, as an HR professional, think Absa Cloud. Thank you to Ibrahim for giving that beautiful sort of descriptive around what cloud actually is and cloud technology. But what other skills does Absa look for in the technology space?
Yes, and that's another pertinent question. And we've got the new age skills. We do have the more legacy skills, like we still acquire and in some instances develop for COBOL. But to understand exactly the skill sets that we look for, mainly in the technology space, and I do believe that there's cross-pollination of technology and other specialist skills happening more and more. But to truly understand the skills that we need, I think it's quite pertinent for us just to have a quick look at what the 5 themes are of the Absa business strategy. So the one is a diversified franchise with deliberate market-leading growth. We are saying that we want to be the primary partner for our client. We want to be a winning, talented and diverse team, an active force for good in everything that we do. And then last but not the least, the theme that I'm just going to unpack a bit further to answer your question is being a digitally empowered business. So looking at that as one of the 5 themes, there is an additional sub-themes to that specific theme that is translated from the group strategy. We're saying we need a superior digital experience for our customers and our colleagues. And I mean, obviously, one of the reasons why we are here today discussing the successes that we had with the Cloud Incubator. Data is a very strategic asset to the organization. We continuously evolving our technology architecture. Trust and security is our right to compete, and I know that keeps a lot of chief information officers and technology leaders awake at night. And then lastly, being a nimble organization. Now, how does this translate into the skills that we look for? There's two ways that we unpack this, when we look at our acquisition strategies, at our development strategies, etc. Now, firstly, we consider the technical skills, okay? And without going into too much detail, these are the skills that we really hone in terms of, acquiring and then also developing. So the first would be developers, your AEM, AWS, DevOps, Kubernetes, Angular, amongst many others. As I said, COBOL is also one of them. Our cloud skills, in our case, it would be AWS, and in some instances Azure. The cybersecurity skills, as we said, security is our right to operate. The data skills, here, for example, we can look at AWS data engineering, artificial intelligence, solutions architecture, and then at this point in time, Salesforce, and related to Salesforce is architecture, business analysts, testers, release managers, and developers. So really, I'm trying to summarize, a broad range of skills in some of the categories. And then talking to my earlier point, what we need to consider when we do identify successful candidates and in how we support our internal staff is the softer issues, right? And I have had many debates with many people around those soft issues, but in brief, when we hire, we look for people who are agile, they need to be curious to continuously learn, people who come with an entrepreneurial mindset and a real need to make a difference, not only to the customer, but to the colleague and the broader society.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that answer. And I love how, all of it is at the tips of your fingertips there, Yolandi. You know exactly what you're searching for. So those of you looking online, I hope you have an insight in to what Absa's tech skills are all about and what we look for. I appreciate your comments there. There are three gentlemen online. I can't wait to chat to you. Phumlani, I'm going to kick off by starting with you, please. You've all participated in this Cloud Incubator initiative. Super, super exciting. What, Phumlani, would you say was the highlight of your experience during this Cloud Incubator initiative?
Yeah, thank you, Jody. Great question. So, with reskilling, especially into cloud, there is a huge financial obligation that you need to deal with. So for an example, you need, there's key resources you need. You need access to Udemy. A typical course in cloud computing is $1,000, and then you need access to a cloud guru. That's a monthly subscription of $1,000. Over and above that, you're going to need cash for the certification. That's $150. So what the Cloud Incubator did, it abstracted all those financial obligations. I do not have to, I just need to be willing. I just need to show up and be willing to do the work. So that's one of the greatest services that we all enjoy as Absa employee. If you reskill outside the Cloud Incubator, you have to cough up cash upfront. You know what I'm saying? So there's that initial investment. So that's one of the things. We don't have to have any financial investment upfront. We don't have to do that. So that's one of the things. And then another is to also, it helped me to hone my my coaching skills. It's one thing to teach. I've been teaching on YouTube, running courses, but it's another when you have to organize material for a group of people and cater it for Absa. Remember, it needs to be particular for our Absa employees on how we can use cloud to advance our agenda as Absa. So it also helped me on organizational skills, how to organize classes and keep people entertained. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Phumlani. So you've spoken to very personally what it actually means to you in that you don't have the financial burden to worry about, but it's more about an attitude to learning and that you're putting your hand up and you're saying, I'm Phumlani, I'm coming to the table and I want to learn. So kudos to you for that attitude and sort of work ethic as well. And then Phumlani, you've touched on the coaching aspect and that it's allowed you to almost acquire coaching skills and go and continue the learning journey for others outside of just yourself and the Absa realm. And I think that's really important in that when you think of the concept of reskilling, it's not just about acquiring skills for my own individual sort of advancement. It is about how else can I better and how else can I continue that learning with others. So thank you so much for that. David, over to you. I'd really want to understand, how has this initiative impacted your professional growth? I know, if you think about you've now immersed yourself in this Cloud Incubator program. Have you been able to acquire those skills and now use them in your day-to-day job? Just talk me through that experience, please.
Yeah, sure, Jody. So 100%, it's been a fantastic journey. So in Ghana, we're actually early in our cloud journey, and we are migrating a lot of our applications to the cloud. So not only do you learn theoretically, as Pumlani mentioned, we have access to numerous resources to be able to learn. We have access to hands-on labs, sandboxes that we can spin up instances and begin to understand the cloud better. I also get to apply practically in the work I'm doing. So migrating our applications to the cloud, re-architecting, redesigning the applications to be efficient, to be fit for the cloud, looking into things like scalability, being able to design in such a way that the application uptime is efficient, so it's basically available to our customers 100% or maximum percent of the time, and it's been fantastic. So for me, not only the learning aspect, but also the practical sort of implementation aspect of it has been a fantastic journey for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, David. And I think it's useful. I mean, it's one thing learning theory and then not being able to apply it. But here you've had the tools and the ability to actually do that and put it to good use. So thank you for that. Wiseman, over to you very quickly. I want to understand, and there's a lot of people, I'm sure, online also sitting with the same question. Do you need to have previous IT experience to learn cloud computing? Can you talk to that at all?
Thank you so much, Jody. That's a very, very important question. I think a lot of people are scared of the unknown. So there's this myth about this cloud computing. It's a new technology. People are scared of it. They think that you need to have a very, very solid technical background. That is not true. I'm coming from the business side, so with no technical background, I joined the cloud team last year, September. But I managed to obtain 2 certificates. I'm going for the third one within 2 months. So a lot of people think that you need that super technical background, which is not true. So the Cloud Incubator, we've got nice courses. So we've got the entry-level courses like a cloud practitioner, which requires no technical background at all. So that is a starting point. That is where I started my journey. So people can come on board regardless of your technical IT background, whether you're coming from marketing or from sales, it doesn't matter. As long as you have that willingness to learn the cloud, and if you want to be part of the journey to the cloud, you can come and join us. Don't be afraid. You don't need technical skills. Cloud accommodate everyone regardless of your field. Come and join the journey to the cloud. Thank you, Jody.
Awesome. Thanks, Wiseman. I'm signing up. I mean, HR background, but I'm there. Okay, cool. Ibrahim, I've got a question from you from the audience online. They talk here, it says, when tackling the digital transformation conversation and with cloud fluency being the buzzword, who is Absa benchmarking from? Are you able to talk to that at all?
Absolutely, Joe. So in terms of who are we benchmarking from? So we set our standard quite high. So when we look at where we're benchmarking, we look beyond our borders, we look beyond our continent. So we do look globally in terms of, and when I say we benchmark ourselves, we set that high standard that we want to create that benchmark, that we're leading. And I believe that we're already leading across the African continent in terms of what we've achieved and how we've progressed and the scale at which we've been driving cloud. And I'm very proud to say that. In terms of what's our ambition, so we benchmark ourselves against other organizations, financial services institutions, we bench ourselves against technology organizations. We are setting ourselves a goal to be a leading benchmark, not only across the continent, but globally. And I think the Cloud Incubator, Absa's Cloud Incubator, is a great example of that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Another technical question for you, Ibrahim, is does Absa have a AI or ML platform that is able to detect and notify in real time when any anomalies arise?
Absolutely, Joe. We actually use ML and AI technologies across various parts of our organization. We use it in forensics. We use it in some of our customer-facing parts of the business. And more recently, we've been leveraging a lot of these technologies within cloud. So using AWS cloud technologies to drive AI and machine learning. So when we talk about tech skills as referenced by Yolandi, data skills and driving AI and ML as a capability within our organization is equally important as how we're driving our cloud agenda.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for those of you who are connecting with us and sharing your questions online. There is a question for the guys in the panel, and David, maybe I can position this one with you. People are online are asking, well, what is this incubator? Is it somewhere you go and you're experiencing a program for 3 months, or like practically, what is this incubator all about?
Okay, so it's not somewhere you go physically though, but it's digitally led. So it's imagine a portal that's available to us to be able to go and learn any cloud skill you can imagine. So if you're an absolute beginner, Amazon has this certificate program called a Cloud Practitioner that you could go and pick up. Do technical essentials, business essentials, and it's just a fun way of learning. So, for example, we have a lunch and learn with cloud that we do during the week, where we pick random topics. So someone asks about machine learning and AI, and we just get together on a call, share knowledge. Usually have a rep from AWS teaching on that, and furthermore, like I said, it makes learning exciting. So we have game days where we pick a topic like maybe security engineering on the cloud, and we do it like a game. So we try and find as many maybe security patches or something or vulnerabilities in the cloud as possible, and whoever finds the most comes out on top. So it's just a fun learning experience, and a number of portals that we use to be able to scale up.
Awesome. Thank you, David. And I hope for whoever asked that question, you've got your answer. It's digitally led, it's online, and it's a really fun way to learn as well. Yolandi, I've got a question for you from our audience as well. They talk to, is this for the purposes, the Cloud Incubator Initiative, is it for the purposes of enhancing your employee skills and or motivating employees in a manner that results to better and uncoerced service delivery? Are you able to talk to that?
Absolutely. That's a good question, and it would be for both of the above. Where we need to fill the gap where we know our organization is going, and whatever strategic adoption is happening. There's been a lot of work talking to the motivation aspect, and being able to have a proper value proposition for our technical colleagues specifically. So there's been a lot of work that's gone into it, and one of the themes that's come through in our colleague engagements is around growing and developing, and having an opportunity to stay relevant. So a lot of effort has gone into that, and we're really very happy to say that the responses has been good. Our people are motivated, they feel like they are challenged, and not just through training opportunities, right, but also through creating opportunities for gigs, opportunities to engage in different projects, talking about that entrepreneurial mindset. Go and look where it is that you want to contribute. And if you put up your hand, I can guarantee you the opportunity will be there, as we've seen in some of our panelists.
Fantastic. Thank you, Yolandi. And just cottoning onto that, talk to me about qualifying criteria. Is there qualifying criteria that you as an Absa employee sort of have to meet in order to access the training? How do, just from an employee perspective, how do employees opt into this cloud computing initiative? If you can answer that, Yolandi, for us.
I am not best to position, I think Ibrahim will be able to give us some clarity on.
Please, Ibrahim, go ahead.
Sorry, could you repeat the question, please, Jim?
Yes, absolutely. I just wanted to find out, there's a question online as well. Is there qualifying criteria for employees to opt into the training? Is there sort of a minimum criteria or nothing at all?
Nothing at all, Joe. And one principle we've applied is it's open to everyone in the organization. So there's no, it doesn't have to be, you have to be a technology person or you have to have a minimum background or qualification or skill set. It's open to everyone, and it caters for all levels. So, we've got the entry-level practitioner course, which teaches you the basics of cloud, understanding cloud, how to engage, and the cloud components. And then it advances to more advanced certifications like solution architecture, security, DevOps. And that's the beauty of it, right? How far you want to go is up to you, right? I must warn you, though, and we heard the example from Prulani, is when you get in there, you get hooked and you just want more, right? And we see that example across the organization, which is great, awesome to experience.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ibrahim. And again, it speaks to kind of our learning philosophy, our leadership philosophy at Absa, around just approaching sort of lifelong learning, and the fact that as an organization, I can opt in as an Absa employee, get in there and just keep going. I mean, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Last question, I think from my side, just to understand. So, you've had Wiseman, you've had Pumlani, the likes of other, 1,500 employees are part of this Cloud Incubator program and initiative. Ibrahim, what does Absa plan to do next?
How much time do you have, Joe?
I have at least 10 minutes. No, I'm kidding.
I'm sitting here and, listening to, Pumlani, David and Wiseman and Yolandi. I couldn't be more proud to be the executive sponsor of Absa's Cloud Incubator. And I couldn't be more proud of not only of what we, but what everyone involved in the program have achieved. And that just inspires us to want to do more and want to push this even harder and scale it up much faster. So what do we have in store for the next year? One is, I'm going to be honest, we want to spread the love. So we've been driving it really hard in technology. We want to open it up and bring in more people from our business. We want them involved. We want them on the journey with us. We want it to be a partnership and not a technology-driven initiative. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, we want to, as I mentioned, we want to go harder and faster, right? So we're already thinking around how are we going to be more creative this year? We mentioned the brown bag sessions, the walk-ins, the workshops, the self-experience. Next year, we're probably talking some hackathons, some more exciting game days, and possibly even some external collaborations with some other organizations. So again, ramping up, moving harder and faster. Most importantly, and we touched on this for a few sessions, is what a big focus of Absa's Cloud Incubator is also to create relevance around skills. If you look at the technology fields, technology is advancing so fast, and we want to give the opportunity to all our employees, whether you're in technology or not, is to build a skill that is going to be relevant for the future, and that is going to be important for the future. I want to touch on another question I answered, which was, do we use ML and AI technologies in the business? When we talk about building cloud skills, it opens up a vast amount of other areas that you could develop in. And I want to use some examples. I mean, if we refer to machine learning, we're using, in several instances within the organization, we're using Amazon SageMaker. And I want to use one example where we've used SageMaker through our separation program, where we had to look across our systems of where all our branding was represented. And if we had to go into each and every one of those systems, it would have taken us weeks, if not months, to do. By using SageMaker and machine learning, we were able to scan, and we did it in a matter of hours rather than weeks and months. A practical example of how we've used that and how the skills that we've built have allowed us to use that. Another example is, and I want to touch on the point Yolandi made around data engineering skills. By leveraging the capabilities within cloud, we've started doing things like experimenting with data lake formation, and these are cloud data engineering skills. So again, furthering advancing the skills for our people, for our colleagues, in terms of making their skills more relevant for the future, making themselves more relevant for the future. So just, as you could hear, I'm super excited by this. We've got loads in mind for next year. And if you want to be part of that, come chat to us. Whether you're in the organization or outside the organization, come chat to us. We invite you all.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ibrahim. And I get so much passion. I mean, talking to Pumlani, Wiseman, David Yolandi, all of you carry so much passion about kind of what you do. And I think it is an attitude of just how you look at your work and the fact that your work is woven into who you are as an individual. I just want to thank you, Pumlani, for sharing your personal journey, David and Wiseman. Yolandi, thank you so much to yourself and to Ibrahim, who spearheaded as an executive behind this Cloud Incubator initiative. I think it's a fantastic program that's on offer to Absa employees. So if you want to join the Cloud Incubator program, you've got to be an Absa employee. But I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your efforts in really bettering, I think, and shaping society at large. Yes, of course, on a personal level, is 1,500 employees that are now reskilled in something that they didn't, have any knowledge of or experience in, and that learning journey can continue. But again, to Pumlani's point, it's about your attitude, how you approach your kind of world of work, and it's about showing up and putting your hand up. So thank you so much to all the questions online from the audience. Really appreciate the engagement today. It was a fantastic topic, a feel-good topic, and certainly a great topic to end off 2021 with. Thank you so much for joining once again, and we will see you in 2022. Well done, everyone. That was awesome. Woohoo!
Well done. You guys were all amazing. Thanks to all of you. And thanks for leading us through it, Jody.
Anytime. Thank you very, very much. If I ever need another panel, I'm calling on you guys.